was sitting here thinking about the best possible situation and the worst possible situation for when the Switch 2 could be revealed. Now, I will say right now, I am still just very pleased at how things have been going so far. At least we did finally get the word of mouth from Nintendo that there is going to be a Switch 2 reveal sometime in the fiscal year. It's just that gap is so huge, we don't know when it could be. It could be very soon, like the next couple of months. It could be at the end of this year, towards the fall and holiday season, or it could be the beginning of next year, right before we have maybe the launch of the console. We really don't know what Nintendo is planning right now. So I kind of wanted to make a best in the worst situation that could happen with Switch 2. How soon it could be revealed and how late it could be revealed. Now, I'm not going to bore you with any other information or talking, let's just jump right into it. So I've been a little worried ever since Nintendo said that it was going to be revealed this fiscal year, because the fiscal year goes all the way until March of next year. And I'm like, if Nintendo was going to reveal the thing this year, wouldn't they just said this year? Why would they even bring up the fiscal year? And that's what's really scaring me, is I really hope that it's not just going to be revealed in like January or February. But let's just start off talking about the latest it can be revealed first, since we were already on that topic. So technically, if we want to be real technical, the latest that this thing can be announced is like March 31st of 2025, which I just want to say right now, I think March and February are out of the question. Do I think the console is releasing in March? Maybe, maybe not. It could be as far back as April or maybe even May, the latest in my eyes. So to me, I just don't see there being any big presentation or announcement of the console that late. That's extremely late. I mean, that's like really pushing it. Nintendo doesn't need to do that this time around. And honestly, I don't even really think it's going to be in January, but I'd say the latest is probably January. Anything past that, then there's something really wrong, and the Switch 2 just is not ready until like middle or even the end of the year next year, which is a whole different discussion altogether. But that's not too hard to predict. When is the earliest? Well, let's see. I would say that the earliest we could actually see this thing revealed is probably next month. And I know a lot of you guys are like, calm down, don't get all excited. It's just a potential. And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, considering the fact that normally Nintendo has a huge direct in September that kind of fleshes out the beginning of next year, and maybe even some other titles moving on to the summer of next year. It's mostly a wrap up of the current year and a look into the next year. And what are we going to get? Because right now we know everything for this year, and we know that the only things that we're getting next year is Metroid Prime 4 sometime next year probably, and then also Donkey Kong Country Returns HD in January. So clearly everything next year is probably going to be all related to Switch 2. Are they going to have a September Direct that's all talking about Switch 2 games without the Switch 2 being revealed yet? I don't think so. I think there's a good chance we could get this revealed beforehand, which definitely gives Nintendo the chance to reveal the games during a Direct. Maybe they don't even need a Switch presentation to do so. They might just use the normal Direct time slot in September, which would make a lot of sense. So I think as earliest as we could go would definitely be next month. And a lot of people like to say how unlikely it is due to all the games actually coming out this holiday season, where I would admit if there weren't as many games, it would be way more likely we'd be seeing this announcement very soon. But with these games announced, I still don't think it hurts Switch 2. Like I said before, all Nintendo has to do is say you can play all these upcoming games on Switch 2 when they do reveal the thing. That way they also don't have to reveal like 15 games at once. You got all these games coming out that you can reveal and say, oh, all these are compatible with Switch 2. And then you can also show off some of those big titles like that 3D Mario, Mario Kart, all that jazz. So I think it is likely we could be getting something before September, where that normal September Direct is, or during the month of September. Now, that was our latest time and earliest time. What is the most likely that I think? Well, I think around the September, October, November timeframe, those 3 months are the golden months, I'd say, for when we could get something. Once again, it definitely does come down to that September Nintendo Direct. What is Nintendo going to do this year? Now, at the very beginning of this year, you got to remember, Nintendo actually did not hold a Nintendo Direct at all. In fact, they did a partner showcase because apparently the original plans was for Nintendo to have a big Switch 2 reveal in the month of March. So that actually makes me wonder, what would Nintendo have done with these games then? Like, were these games all planned to be coming to Switch 2? Or were these games going to come out in the summer of this year and pretty much we'd had like the last game be in March Mario and Luigi Brothership coming out in June or July, and it would have already been out, and we'd be gearing up for Switch 2 games this holiday? It's hard to say. I don't know. And if that's the case, it would pretty much line up that all these Switch 2 games would probably be coming out at the beginning of next year then. So if that is true, and that's really what happened, Nintendo pushing everything back, that would kind of tell me that maybe this September Direct could just be another partner showcase, and we had to wait for October for us to get a Switch 2 reveal and the games coming to that console, which would put us in the month of October. So if I had to place a final prediction, I really love the idea of this being announced next month, and as much as I want to say it, I just don't feel it being likely based on Nintendo just waiting until the last minute all the time. So I think my final prediction are the months of October or November. One of those I really can't choose, but I really think one of those could definitely be our chance to finally have that Switch 2 reveal, if there's no Nintendo Direct in September at least. Now trust me, this is something that I know I have brought up a million times already, but it's just true every time I think about it, is that yes, we are excited for the reveal of this Switch, and I completely understand everyone's excitement probably for this new Switch, but at the same time, it's more than just the console. It's also about the software, and I've been talking about how Nintendo has to get ready to reveal this next big AAA game. Nintendo does not have any big AAA games under their belt right now outside of probably Metroid Prime 4, and we just know that that's slated for 2025. A lot of people think that's going to be on Switch 2. Some people still think on Switch because it did show the Switch logo, but you never know. It could be a cross release. Who knows? Something like Breath of the Wild. But regardless, I think Nintendo needs to show off that brand new 3D Mario or Mario Kart, because we know one of those are probably going to be the launch title. Which one? I'm not 100% sure, but one of those have to be coming very soon, with 3D Mario reaching almost 8 years since Odyssey, and Mario Kart 8 being 10 years since its original debut on the Wii U. It's definitely time for a new installment into one of those franchises, and we've all pretty much come to the conclusion that Nintendo's probably going to launch the new hardware with one of these two games, which it's going to be massive. Either one of them is going to sell like mad. Yeah, I'm trying to see in my head when Nintendo would actually announce one of these games. Could it just be at a September Nintendo Direct? But I feel like if it is, they're going to have to reveal the console before September. It's so confusing. Nintendo has got us in this weird bucket, I feel like, where we just don't know what they're going to do. Nintendo is so unpredictable, and sometimes they're so secretive, and you really just don't know what their game plans are. But for now, all we can do is sit and wait. But let me know your predictions. If one of you guys have a really good theory, maybe I'll talk about it. But when do you think Switch 2 is going to be revealed? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out today. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.